but there's going to be Horseman rankings by Slaymon right here on the rankings team. Check this out. Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, it is time for May's tier list for the default rankings, champions tier list, the whole thing, right? And for those of you who've seen this before, it's going to look really different. And for those of you who are new, welcome. There are always timestamps in the description. You can jump to wherever you want to go as we cover this sheet. There is a lot here, but the couple things I want to make sure everyone hears is one, this game is way too big and complex for one champion to always be better than another. That's why they're split into tiers, and even all the way down to premium, you can see very clearly, yeah, these champions, in my opinion, and the opinion of the rankings team, are well worthy of your rank up resources. We've just done our best to separate them out so you can have a visual, a nice starting off point, and then you go do your own research, you play that champion, make sure you like them, because if you don't, you will not play them. Another thing, this spreadsheet will be linked in the description, and you can see a lot of these have the blue link there, right? Like we're on Archangel here, and that is a link to the playlist on my channel with some of my videos, if I made them, or videos of the ranking team, or someone who's maybe not even on the rankings team, but I really enjoy their channel, or I thought the video was excellent. Go there, you can do the research, do a little bit of learning on how to play them. And then last but not least, this rankings team, they are amazing, they're fantastic. These are channels that I watch to get better at the game. And for those of you who are like, what is a rankings team? These are channels that I've watched to get better at this game. A lot of them are friends that I have made along the way over the years. They help me out with this because, again, it is way too big and complex for just one person to just know every champion. I just don't think that is possible. I go ahead and go through this, I do the default, then they tell me what their thoughts, and it's all based on rank up advice, and then ultimately it does go through my filter. But please go check them out if you want to get better at this game. Subscribe, watch their videos, enjoy, and get better. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the rankings itself. It is a different format. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time talking about what it used to be. Let's focus on what it is now. The biggest difference is that there's no longer that pre-12.0 switch. It served its purpose because we're constantly updating this sheet based on the evolution of the game itself. And that tier served its pure purpose, but at a point in time, I realized it was starting to confuse some people because remember, this is all based on rank up advice. Now, we've got the tier above all. I felt like that was a nice play off of the one above all. This is just the absolute best. Like I just can't imagine the scenario where you would not give them your rank up resources. You would have to hate these champions. I will do my best to kind of talk about the tiers and then talk about the ones that are new, being the buff champions and the new champions in the game. And then maybe just describe a little bit if there's something I think is worth describing for this video this month. Now, one of the things that's going to be unique is like Magic. She's only available as a 5-star. If she was available as a 6-star, she would be up there. Sometimes the links, I don't know what it is about YouTube, but they put a funny picture. That's one of them. All right, so we'll go ahead and scroll through this. There's really no changes there per se. You can see the legend in the right-hand side there. You can see that we're letting you know there that Black Widow Clairvoyant is very recoil friendly, and you can see the rest of the legend as we go. There really isn't any movement in there. With science was an interesting one for me because I really could make a case for a lot of those champions. In particular, the one I really thought about was Captain America Infinity War with all of his synergy partners all synergized up. But Human Torch is amazing. Spider-Man 2099. Actually, I do need to make a correction there. Let's go ahead and do that right now so I do not forget. Spider-Man 2099, his ranking, Miguel, his ranking above Mr. Fantastic for me is dependent on him having the anti-venom synergy. If you don't have it, I actually prefer Mr. Fantastic in a lot of these matchups, but I mean, that's tiny minuscule stuff. I just wanted to point out why he has the synergy partner, that the synergy partner is why he's ranked where he's ranked. Quake, same thing as Magic as we scroll on down. Mega Sentinel, I know that might surprise some people, and I am kind of going out on a ledge a little bit there. I usually start off very conservatively with a champion that's that new, but I got to use her a little bit in War in this first week of Equinox or Eternity of Pain or whatever. I've used her in Act, what are we on, like Act 7 now? I don't know, whatever. Book 2, you guys know what I'm talking about. She's awesome. She really is, and I think she's very well suited for the game currently is and where it's headed. So I feel very, very comfortable putting her up there with the likes of Nimrod, Warlock, and of course, Ghost. We'll scroll on down. Skill, we'll talk about something for those of you who've seen this before. You're like, wait a minute, where's Shang-Chi? We'll talk about that. It hurts me a little bit, but I'm always big on giving out my honest opinion and what the rankings team thinks too. And we all think that this looks right for skill as far as the tier above all. And then getting on to Cosmic Class, Hercules, Hyperion, Corvus. I think a lot of the community is going to go ahead and agree with that. Now, let's get to where this gets a little more interesting, in my opinion. And we're getting to top shelf. This used to be like, yeah, top shelf is top shelf, right? I think that's pretty obvious. You pull them and you come to me, you know, this is all based on the most common question that we as YouTubers get asked is like, who should I rank up? And if you're like, hey, should I rank up Hood? We're like, heck yeah, you should. Should I rank up Scarlet Witch Sigil? Yeah, heck yeah. Like that's the response. There's really no hesitation. There's no thought. Yes, that's who it should be. And you can see this is kind of a small tier. There's not going to be a lot of champions in this tier. And it makes sense. It's showing you like how amazing they are. We'll go ahead and scroll on down. I know Cable's going to stand out to some people, but it's a combination of a couple of things. One is the immense amount of damage he can put out so quickly, and he doesn't need to throw any specials at all to do that damage. Additionally, he actually does get a nice SP2 benefit. Take a look at that if you're unfamiliar with him. And the last, and this is what really puts him over the top and why he's not in super premium, is his synergy is with Apocalypse. And Apocalypse is in the tier above all. He is one of maybe not the best mutant in the game. He handles so much. And Cable immediately ramps up Apocalypse. He actually benefits Apocalypse. Apocalypse receives a benefit from having Cable on the team. And additionally, Cable does not need to be made a Horseman. So there's a lot of things there with their synergy, which is why Cable is as high as he is. And you're not seeing that with any other champions where they're just purely transformed by a synergy and you see them ranked this high. Usually there's a cost to it or something like that. With Cable, he's a bit of an outlier in that case right now. Yes, we will get to Storm. All right, now moving on through Science, again, very, very much like, you could make an argument for any of them to be at the top or whatever. They are ranked within their tiers, but that's where they're at. They're amazing. They're great. It's very hard to separate any of them. They all have their benefits and really not like minuses, but they all have their benefits. Let's put it that way. Tech. This was an interesting one. A lot of us thought and looked at it initially and were like, that seems so small for the top shelf of tech. But then when we really started thinking through our own rank up decisions and how we felt, and if we were holding on to resources when we had, let's say, a Mysterio, but we were waiting for a Guardian or an Ultron, we're like, yeah, actually, it's making a lot of sense. And we'll talk about Super Premium when we get there. Now we're going to move on to Shang-Chi. You've been following me long enough, you know, I think he is amazing. There's a time where I even thought he was the best skill champion in the game. Part of me still feels that way, but I have to reflect upon the honest advice of the rankings team and also my own experience. And my own experience is I use Kingpin a lot. When the going gets tough and I need to know that like my player errors won't interfere with the fight itself, I often been using Kingpin. I don't enjoy using Mole Man, but I get it and I see it. Shang-Chi, if you're on your game and you are playing exceptionally well, I think he can be the best champion or the best skill. But you've really got to be on your game. And I do think we should take that into account when I'm trying to give advice. And I know a lot of you are going to look at this and see like, oh, I've got Shang-Chi. I should take him up before Kingpin. I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know on that. But if you love Shang-Chi, I think you're well in your right mind to rank him up first. He was my first rank 4, and I have absolutely no regrets on that whatsoever. Aegon, Killmonger, Falcon. If you're like, why are they there? Go to the playlist, check that out, especially on Killmonger. He is awesome, and I think the community is really starting to understand that. This used to get quite a bit of negative feedback, let's say, not that long ago, but I think everyone's catching on, or maybe they've just gotten tired of saying that he shouldn't be there. Cosmic Class. To me, they're a little bit above the other tier. I know King Groot might stand out and be kind of an outlier or seem like an outlier, but I know a lot of the community's caught on to how amazing he is. And I am taking into account him at a decent 6. It doesn't have to be outrageously high. And he will just keep you alive. And in this game where we're collecting resources or buying resources or spending our time to go get those resources, a champion that takes a little bit longer but stays alive, That's a really big deal. I love using my King Groot. He definitely deserves to be up there in my opinion. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the super premium. Again, that same question, like, should I rank it? And if we're just like, yeah, yes, with a strong, we mean it. We're not even really starting to hesitate yet. Maybe it's not as strong as the top shelf. This is a little bit more art than science, but I think you get the idea of what we're going for here. That's how you end up in this tier. Let's go ahead and move through. I can see how long we're taking, so I'm gonna speed up just a little bit. But all of those champions are extremely worthy of your rank up resources. I want to point that out. If you're like, dude, I love Dr. Voodoo. Like, yeah, we do too. That's why he's there. That's how many good champions are in this game. So that's why he's there. Let's go ahead and scroll on through till we get to our first one, Bus Storm. I mean, woo! Tested her live on stream and she blew me away. I went in and I even said it in the stream, like, I went into the stream, I wanted her to be like Thor Ragnarok, It's like, he's fine. He's fine. And in these very unique scenarios, he's gonna look outrageous. But as where the game currently is and where it seems to be heading, we're talking about story content, AQ, war, the whole thing, I don't think you're gonna find yourself using him that much. I think you're gonna be using these other skill champions. There's a massive difference between the top couple tiers and where Thor Ragnarok is. And I felt like it was going to be similar with Storm. I was wrong. I was really, really wrong. And it didn't take long into the stream for me to recognize I was horribly, horribly mistaken. And I want you to notice this. She doesn't have the synergy designation. She doesn't have the Horseman designation. It's just Storm. Of course, she's going to get better with the synergy with Apocalypse and as a Horseman. Now, you're like, wait a minute, what the Cable? And that's why I made a big deal about the transformative nature of that synergy with Cable. Cable sucks without the Apocalypse synergy. But just with the synergy, he becomes this good. Storm is exceptional without the synergy. She is very good. I was surprised. Then you add the synergy, and then you make her a Horseman. And while we're talking about Horseman, when we get to the bottom of this, I'll explain a little bit more, but there's more to the spreadsheet. There's going to be another page. It's not filled out just yet, but there's going to be Horseman rankings by Slaymon right here on the rankings team. Check this out. This guy's got a great channel. He's an incredibly smart player. He just moved over to GT40. They're like the 5 times in a row war champions. He has taken on for me and for all of us, for the community, Horseman rankings, because I know so many of you asked for him. And I was like, dude, I just can't. I don't have the time to do it. Are you willing to do it? He's already got 4 together. Do me a big favor, go subscribe to his channel. Let's get him monetized. You'll get better at this game. You're gonna enjoy those videos. You're gonna learn a lot. He's a very smart player. And then that's a nice way of thanking him for like, hey dude, thanks for letting us know where these Horsemen are. The first video with like 4 or 5 of them is gonna be coming out very soon, depending on when I see this. It may already even be out. I'm gonna get that out there. And then I'll continuously update that Horseman ranking so you can see like, all right, well, Wolverine, I see you have him in call, but when he gets moved to Horseman, how good is he? And the answer is he gets very, very good. All right, moving on now. Havoc was recently promoted. He's been moved up in this tier. A lot of that's due to really Nerd was the first one to really bring that up. I think it was Nerd and Slaymon, smart players. And then everyone like DLL and Campo and Blaze were like, yeah, actually they're right. He is really good. He should be moved up. Toad has been promoted in this. I've gotten a new video out on Toad. I've pulled him, I've taken him to rank 3, used him in Battlegrounds where I do think it's accentuating what he can do. But the fact of the matter is, and that's what the point of that video was, is what's happening here can be done elsewhere. It can be done elsewhere. He's really going to punish a lot of these skill champions. He's going to punish Purifying. He's got really nice poison damage, very unique in the mutant class. Keep our eye on him. I don't think he's gonna go higher, but as I play him more, maybe I'll start to recognize some nuance and that can elevate him more, or someone else in the community will too. But the fact of the matter is, you're up there with Havoc, Emma Frost, and Domino. You are in great company. So if you've pulled Toad, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Moving on through, Scorpion. Be prepared, guys. I think Scorpion is one of these champions where as the game continues, again, talk about the evolution of the game, where it is, where it's going. I played him and I even just we did the stream, and I intentionally did not play him before we did the stream because I know he's got this unique play style where you're intercepting with the specials, and I wanted to see how hard is it to get used to that? So if you go to the stream, you can check it out. I had not leveled him. I had not played him. And you saw me get him out of the mail for the CCP. I leveled him up on stream. I played him. And it didn't take long. I got it. His window for intercepts isn't quite as large as Hercules. In fact, it feels different. With Hercules, it feels like you have this massive window where it'll accept that you've intercepted with the special. And there is a little bit of a visual, like the way he's made. With Scorpion, it feels very much visual. There's almost like this little like hiccup. And you can definitely get it. I'm not gonna say it's foolproof, but you can definitely get it. The damage can be excellent. And I've played him, and I was like, I'm just gonna kind of 5-hit combo. I'm gonna build up my torments a little bit. Nothing crazy here. He does exceptional. No, he does respectable damage. Played simply. MP Blaze and Campo MC showed that in videos. They're like, look, you don't even have to play crazy with this guy. And then with his pre-fights, with all those immunities, which also change what kind of damage he can do. And that's very common in this game, for you to need a certain immunity or to do a certain kind of damage. Like I just started discovering as I was playing the game, like, oh, if I do shock damage, I get 200% more attack. That's a really big deal. And to have all that bundled into one champion, I like Scorpion. Would not be surprised if in probably a month or two, we see him having been moved up. I would not be surprised at all. I've got him at rank 3. I definitely intend to dive deeper into his kit, see what's all there, and play that and find that out for us. And if you've got thoughts on it, please let me know. I know a lot of you really like him. You've pulled him and you've let me know. Go ahead and moving on through the tech class. This is like, I want to put this in a positive way. It's like this big, it's not a glut, but it's this large group of tech champions who can all do exceptional things. And you really could say like, dude, they should be in the top shelf. Like, why isn't Gilly 99? I thought you love, and I do, I love Silver Centurion. Sentinel, I don't like him, but I respect that he's good. Nebula, I've done some awesome stuff with him. Campo's like constantly putting out a war video where you're like, I can't believe you took that with Nebula, but he does. Penny Parker, War Machine. I mean, I could read all of them. I might as well. I've gotten so close to it. Punisher 2099. Ozfan has been on me for like 8 months to promote him. Like, there it is. Ozfan was right. And that was part of why we updated the tier list itself, like the actual columns, so we could better illustrate to people our opinions on their value. They're all amazing, all worthy of rank 3, all can do exceptional things for you. They're just different. And it's how do you want to do that? And that's where account building really comes into play. Let's go ahead and scroll on down. Like I said, I know I'm taking time. I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit more. Black Cat. When she came out, we saw a lot of fun stuff. We saw a lot of fun stuff like the world records, and that's really cool. It really is. I like that. And then I think there was almost like too big of a backlash. Like, fine, like if you're attacking Thing or, Abyss Red Hulk, that's all she's good for. That ain't true. That ain't true at all. She is very good. I think she might be a little more trending towards niche than specialized. It's something we talk about a lot on this channel. Credit to Campo for coming up with the specialized. Being niche in this game 3 or 4 years ago, that was a put down. You're like, how often are you going to use this champion? They're very niche. But I feel like some of us who've played this game that long are still using that terminology. And Campo and I, and a lot of us on our team talked about, like, well, some of these champions are more specialized, and that's how big this game is. And so if you have a champion who's specialized, meaning like if you say niche, you're really not doing them justice, because they can do a tremendous amount. It's just they're not amazing everywhere. I feel like that's Black Cat. If there is something defensive that you can make fail, and I showed that in my video in the BGs, right? She's a masochism menace, I called her. She is doing incredible damage because she's going to keep up her sabotage debuff, and you're just going to keep making those defensive abilities fail. You can even do this against bleed immune champions, which is pretty crazy because she gets the crit bleeds and all that going, and you're doing tremendous damage, and their defensive ability, which often is really important to their kit, you're making fail. So you are simplifying that fight. She does take a little bit of setup, but I really, really like her a lot. I want to use her. She's also very fun. So I think that's part of it there. Let's go ahead and scroll on down. The promotion here that I think might stand out to people is Cersei, but I think people are really catching on there just to how great she is. So it's cool to see. Now let's get to premium. Again, same question. Should I rank this champion? And if the response is like, yeah, but wait, who else you got? Like, why are you doing it? Like, yeah, they can do things. I have some of these champions at rank 3 and I really enjoy playing them. And I think they add a lot of value to my roster. But why are you doing it? Let's confirm. Let's confirm just to make sure that you're like, you know, I pulled Sasquatch and I love that big SP2. And we're like, okay, well, who else you got? And you're like, well, I only got Diablo and Doom. And we're like, whoa, okay, Sasquatch is cool, but his crit rate's really low. And that massive SP2 often doesn't show up. So let's confirm why you're doing this, right? This is a fun example. Mordo, he got a really nice buff. I kind of like buffs like this. If Mordo's your favorite character, I'm sorry it wasn't better, because I know we always want that, but I think he's exceptionally usable. I think he's exceptionally usable now. You can use him to clear content. He's worthy of ranking. I think that's great. He's not a world beater. From what I can tell, I'm open to the idea. I'm wrong. If I am, let me know. Let me know what you're using him for. And I think he probably got a lot more usable for Battlegrounds, which is its own separate tier list and own video. We've got those. Check those out on the channel. And also he's usable for people who've ranked him up for Alliance Board defense, which is cool. I always hate when someone just sinks all their resources in and then you're like, oh, you're never going to play that champion. So I think that's really neat. Moving on, we are into Mutant Captain Britain. She is the perfect example of me for what I'm talking about. I've taken her to rank 3. Part of it is I really just think she's cool. Her animations, her visuals are awesome, but she also adds things to my account. I don't have anyone necessarily like her, and she's great in these matchups with her shrugging debuffs. So that's a place where, no, I don't think she's as good as Colossus. I don't. I just absolutely don't. But I have a rank 3 Betsy, I have a rank 3 Captain Britain, and I have a SIG 200 rank 2 Colossus. It's not that I don't like Colossus, it's that I didn't ever have a need for him. And so as my account grew, all that wonderfulness that's wrapped up in Colossus, I had covered in a variety of champions, and I never needed him alone. And so when it came time to rank up a mutant, I was like, I'm going with Captain Britain because I don't have anyone like her. I really enjoy playing her. She's great in her. It is a bit more niche and specialized, and that's why she's in the tier she's in, as over Colossus. And that's the kind of account building that I'm really talking about, why I want you to go discover and play these champions on your own too. Don't just look at the spreadsheet. I'll keep this quick, and remember there's always timestamps if you're like, dude, I am not interested in this, but I'm really excited about finally having lucky hats. I know a lot of you have asked for them. And then the 2022 shirt is out. It is inspired by the Moon Knight show, which I absolutely loved. As soon as I heard this line, I was like, it's got to be the shirt. This is all pre-orders, and that will be closed on Friday, May 20th. All orders will be taken at that time or processed at that time, and then that's it. They will no longer be on sale afterwards. So if you're interested in any of these things, please check out the link in the description. Go ahead and purchase it, and then you will definitely, probably in about a month, be seeing me wearing my own hats and, of course, these shirts. I've been wearing the 2021 variant shirt all the time. All right, let's get back to the ranking. And then here, Surfer was an interesting one for me. I'm seeing a lot of interesting stuff with him. I know B McG really enjoyed him in Battlegrounds recently. DLL's been a Surfer fan for quite a while. Gamora, I absolutely love. There's part of me that wants to move her up, but then I remembered, like, no, this is a really good tier. I've taken her to rank 3 because I hate dealing with miss. She does tremendous damage. Perfect for me. So I've taken her to rank 3 over champions like Captain Marvel movie, who I think is a better overall well-rounded champion, and Medusa, who I think, again, is probably a better overall well-rounded champion, but I needed a miss counter. I hate dealing with miss. Gamora fit the bill. I use her all the time in map 8 AQ. She gets my lane done. I have a really great time doing it. And then Icarus. I'm curious about Icarus. One of my channel members has been kind of talking some real nice about Icarus, really nice things. And I know there's been people who've off and on kind of like started to pipe up like, oh, maybe Icarus can do this or do that. Keep our eye on him. I could see him being moved up a little bit. And we might be sleeping on him too much. And then the Call. Call is just like, they just got a job to do, right? You can rank them. Obviously, if you want to, this is a game, you should have fun. I have a rank 3 America Chavez because that's an America Chavez like action figure doll right there, right? I just like the character from a TV show I used to watch with my kids. I think with some tweaks, she could be an excellent champion in this game. And if you really want someone who's going to reverse ability power gain, she's gonna do a great job for you. She can do that exceptionally well. She just has some other limitations with her kit. So that's it. That's really how this works. And then, like I said, if you scroll, I guess you guys can't see it, but at the very bottom, if you go to it, we will eventually update it all with the synergies, because some of these champions are listed with synergies, and then the Horseman rankings by Slaymon. I could not be more pumped up for it. Check out his channel. Check out the whole rankings team. And then I know I talked about getting a screenshot. We will go ahead and do that right now. All right, and then here is a screenshot. If you jump straight here, can you do me a huge favor with the YouTube algorithm? Hit like, make sure you've hit subscribe, and throw in a comment just like, hey, thanks dude, thanks for the screenshot, something like that. And then maybe share the video with one other person so we can help keep this going and build it up. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.